Hi guys, welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to be talking about SureTrader and Dash Trader's platform, and we are basically going to do a setup from scratch. So I've just logged into one of my old screen setups. So basically what we've got is we've got a chart, time and sales, we've got the account, positions, we've got the clock, the Montage and the news. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all of this and we're going to start again from scratch, and I'm basically going to show you how you can build your own platform and have your own layout. If we just close all of these like so. So we have a blank slate. So what do we need when we're trading? So just to kind of do a bit of a recap, we're on SureTrader. This is the trading platform that we're going to use to buy and sell stocks. This is a desktop version, so this isn't using the online version. This is the desktop. This is the kind of application, and this is cost around $104 a month with level 2 access. So there's quite a lot that's in this package or included in this package, and SureTrader they're not the best broker in the world, but they're one of the ones you have to kind of go to when you're using less than 25,000. So these brokerages that use they're allowed to open an account with a small amount of money, they're not always the best. But in all fairness, I started with SureTrader. They've not been too bad. You get quite good margin, although I don't use much margin anymore. Their customer service is really good. They're not a bad broker at the end of the day. They're kind of the necessary evil. So we're going to start off by adding, we've got on here, you can see if you hover over, we've got the Montage, okay? We've got the trading account information, the position list, the open order list. You don't need executions. You don't need me to read every single thing. I'm sure you can read time and sales. And if you just scan through here, you can see what we've got. So we're going to work our way through. So the Montage. Okay, so what is a Montage? So this is where we're going to buy and sell our stocks. So for example, if we type in a stock in this window here, so IGC, this is the stock ticker. Okay, so this is the abbreviation of the stock. You can see here, this is the abbreviation, so IGC, and then this is the name up here. Okay, India Globalization, I think that would say Capital. Just extend, yeah, Capital Inc. common stock. So this is the time and sales, okay, and in the left column we have the bid. Okay, this is what people are selling at, and then to the right we have the ask. Now this is what people are buying at. So we have two columns. So you can see people are currently buying the stock for $10.45, but if you want to sell that same stock, you're now going to be selling it for $10.39. I know that's less than you brought it for, but obviously that's the fluctuation. As you can see now, it's gone up to $10.40. The bid is $10.40, 40 people selling, or that would be 40,000. You add 1,000, you add two, I think it's 3 zeros on each one. So 4 is 4,000, 1 is 1,000, 6 is 6,000, and 45 is 45,000. So these are people selling, okay, and these are people buying on the right. See, we're 16,000 shares going through at 10.48. So that's kind of, the bid and the ask, okay? What people are selling at and what people are buying at. So if you're going to buy a stock, you're going to buy it on the ask. And you can see down here, we have the ask at 10.39, okay? And we've got the bid at 10.32. Now, that's a little bit lagged behind. I think it's because the market's closed now, so that's what it closed at. And then if you want to go to another stock, okay? For example, let's go on to another stock. Now we're on another stock. If we want to go back to our previous stock that we just looked at, you'll be able to click the list and it'll take you back. Later on in the video, I'm going to basically show you how you can double click on the chart that you're looking at. If you want to get into a trade quickly, you can double click on the chart and it will basically show up on the Montage. So in simple terms, the Montage is where you're going to be looking at the bid and the ask, what people are buying versus what people are selling at. And this is where you're going to make your order. So this is the amount of shares that you're going to buy. So on here, we've got 1,000, and then this is the price. You can also click on the price here. that will automatically pre-fill the price. So if you want to buy it at 267, it'll automatically, or if you want to put it at 250, you can just simply type 250, place the order, and once that stock drops to 250, you'll automatically get filled. Okay. If you're going to be shorting the same, you basically just short at the price you want to short at. So that's kind of the Montage. We have the volume, so VOL is the volume, the amount of shares that are going through. And then we have the VWAP. So we'll talk about the VWAP in a minute when I get the charts up. So this is the Montage. This is quite important. We want to have this, you know, visible in the middle or easy to access. So we're going to keep this, let's just keep this around here. Okay, just for now. So the next thing we want some account information. Okay, so we want to know what our account is. We want to know our positions, and we also want to have a look at our orders. Okay, so we can cancel them or look at, you know, what prices we're set for. So the first one we'll add, we've done the Montage. The second one is the trading account information. Now, if you go to the bottom of this, you can see here, you can basically stretch this to make it larger or smaller. So we can have this, let's just try and go in the middle. Okay. Or you could have it up here, I guess. We could have it up in the top right corner, okay? And if you wanted to, you can pop these out, which I'm going to show you with the charts in a minute. So this can now be popped out, and you can move this to multiple screens, like so. The only thing, if you do pop it out, once you click the screen, it hides it. So you need to make sure, I mean, I would use... Let me just go back to SureTrader. I would not pop it out if it's been on the screen. I normally keep mine, you know, on the actual screen when I'm using it. So, for example, let's just place that there. And this is the account information. Okay. The next one we have is the position list. So this is all the positions that you hold. So it's going to be the symbol, which is basically the same as the ticker, which we saw down here. You can see ASTC, and you can see here the corporation name is there. And then we have the account. Mine's my account is hidden, but you can see there it's my account. And we got the shares, the number of shares that you're holding, the average cost that you brought that at. Because, for example, if you buy 100 shares at $2.50, then you buy, let's say, 500 shares at $2, you'll basically add those up and you'll divide it, and SureTrader will automatically give you an average cost. Okay, so you don't have to do that mental arithmetic in your head. And then realized and unrealized is basically your profit. So if you hold 500 shares and you sell 200 of them, you'll have some realized profit. It might be positive or negative, and then your unrealized will be basically the shares that you currently hold. Are you in profit or are you, in negative? And then we have the bid and the ask. That will be of the bid and the ask here. So the bid on the left and the ask on the right. And withhold will basically, so type is basically short or long. So if it's short, it will be red. It will be in red. The whole line here will be in red. And if it's long, it will be green. Okay. And withhold is basically the amount of money that is in that position. So if you have 100 shares, okay, and you buy them for $5, you've got $500 in this position. Okay, so we want to keep that fairly close because that's quite imperative or quite important to us. So you can see here, if we stretch this across, I'm going to miss half of the withhold. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag these across these little windows, just so we can fit it in. I'm a little bit OCD with my presentation. So that's okay. We've got the account, we've got the positions. Now we're going to add, we want the order list. So this is our orders that we are going to send out. Okay, so I'll just explain that in a second. So we want this fairly close, because this is where you're going to be most active. Because if I put out an order right now for ASTC, although it won't get filled, but if I did, I'd put an order out and it would go in this order window here. So it would say status, we'd have the symbol, the side, the quantity, open, price, type, time. Okay. In here, this is where your order will go. I mean, for example, if you buy on the ask, your order will go there, and then it will basically go into the position. So it'll say your order, how many shares, what price, blah, blah, blah. And then it will go into the positions. So basically, the time it's in here, the order is getting filled. Once it's filled, it will come into your positions. If you set a price, for example, the price is now 267. So if we set it at 250, okay, it would go in here, it would wait in here until the order gets filled. So it'll only get filled when the price drops to 250, and then it'll go into your positions. So this is, you don't own the stock just yet in the orders. Once it's in the positions, that's when you own the stock. Okay. And then, like I say, on the account, we've got the, P&L is a profit and loss. Commissions, which is here, I just heard that, and then net profit. So the way I lay this out is, obviously, your shares are your shares, realised, unrealised. Your daily profit minus commissions is net profit. So on my account, I don't have any of that profit and unrealised on my account. I kind of take that out for psychological reasons, emotional reasons. If you kind of discard how much you're making, it makes the trade go a lot easier, because you don't have to focus on the money side. You're more just focusing on the trend and looking at the chart. I already know where my exits are going to be when I enter a trade, so I don't technically need to look at the monetary terms and have that affect me emotionally. So I take the unrealized, anything to do with money I take out, which is only a new thing. I've only recently started doing that. So we have the account, we have the positions, the orders, and the Montage. Now we want to add some charts. Okay, so to add a chart, we're going to click onto this little kind of bar chart here. Okay, so it says chart package. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go old school and kind of do my old school layout that I used to do. So I'm going to put a chart down here. Okay, and then I'm also going to put a chart up here. And you can see that's cutting off half of the screen. So we're going to drag it across until it's on the screen, and then just basically mold it, play around with it. I'm also, so you can see my Montage is now off the screen. So you can do some readjusting. So I'm going to put my Montage in the middle here. And I'm going to bring this chart to the top right. We're going to have a large chart here. And then we're going to have the time and sales. So the time and sales are basically what it says. These are the sales that are going through for the particular stock you are looking at. So we're going to make this nice and in line. So we're going to get 2 of these, and this is the little script icon. So we're going to make this fit nicely. Try and get this as equally distributed as possible. Okay, like that. And now you might be thinking, well, where's the chart? Where's the, what stock am I looking at? Well, to find the stock you want to look at, you basically just click on the chart, okay, or hover on the chart and basically type in the stock name. So let's say IGC, and there we go. We can see IGC. If you go on here, IGC, and there we go. So you could have maybe a smaller chart for a smaller time frame, and then you could have this as your chart that you're looking at to get into the stock straight away. And now to edit the chart, we're going to click on to config. Okay, and this is where you can change the margin, so you can have the stock, because if the margin is on 0, you'll see that the stock will be right tight close to here. I like to have a bit of margin, so I set mine at 50. It's personal preference, but it just gives me a bit of room so I can kind of see what's happening. So on here, I've got the horizontal line, and I take the vertical line off. I change my color to just under so about a dark grayish color. And then I also, so on here, so this is where I save the trend line. So any trend lines that I make, they'll save onto the chart. So then when I come back to them, those horizontal, those verticals, those ray lines, they've all saved. And I double click to trade. So I'll just show you what that means. So currently I'm on IGC. So if I double click on the chart, you can see level 2 is currently on ACTC. So if I double click on here, automatically changes to the stock I want to look at, which is quite useful because it saves you having to type it in. You can just let's just go on to Apple. So go on to another stock. Okay, instead of me having to type that in, I can just double click, and it just makes it a lot easier to get in and out of trades quite quickly. Now on the chart, we have some indicators already on here from my old chart, and we have the RSI on the bottom of the chart. So to add indicators or to remove indicators, we're gonna right click, and we're going to go on to study config, which is short for configuration. And this is where you can basically remove. So if we had it bare, that's what the chart would look like. That's not helpful to us. So study config, we want the price. Because we want the price, we want the volume. Sorry, we don't want the volume. And so here is the price and these are the candles. Okay, and on here you can have your trades and your orders shown. So for example, once you get into a trade and out of a trade, it'll have like a little green arrow here and then like a little red arrow here, so when you buy and when you sell. So it's quite good if you do a video and you can look back on that video and kind of, you know, explain, I got in here, you know, we saw the bull run, blah blah blah, I got out here, you know, when we started to see a pullback, and then you can go back and do a recap video on the trade you've done. So study config, we want to add some moving averages. So we double click on the moving average, maybe you want 3, and now you can double click on the moving average and you can set your own time intervals. So we got the exponential, you can choose from the simple, the weighted, the exponential, smooth, and volume weighted. I have the exponential. You can change the color like so, maybe we want red, and you can also change the thickness. Okay, so if we just add this one on here, now you can see here we've got the price and the moving averages. Now that can get in the way, because if we have it on here, okay, like that, if we have the if I take these away, so if they are, you can see on study config, if they weren't excluded from, so normally it looks like this. Normally you have the titles on the chart. To get rid of the titles, if you want, go on to study config, select the one you want to change, and then go on to config extra, and then you can basically unclick all of these like so and press confirm once done, and then you can see they all go. So now we've got rid of the name or the title. And just to go through it again, you simply just click on the price candle or the one you want to select, config extra, and then basically just take it off the top left, okay? And then you can see, you'll watch that one goes. So as you can see, now they're only showing the moving averages, and if we wanted to take the moving average off, we basically just do that again. So config, and then we basically include in scale, we unclick that one, and if we do it for the rest quickly, just to take those ones off, and then you'll be able to see the chart looks so. If we just do it for the others, if we take the take them off the screen just so it looks a lot cleaner, like so. So we still have the moving averages on there, but we don't have to see the title in the top left hand corner. So we've added a chart. Now we have the volume at the bottom, so these are the volume candlesticks. So I've got the RSI on here, so I'm going to take the RSI off. So to take it off, we basically click it and just click remove. Okay, and now that's gone. And if we do that on this one as well, study config, RSI, remove, there we go. Now on here, I'm going to add the VWAP, okay, which is the volume weighted average price. Okay, so go down to VWAP, okay, and then I'm going to click onto it and I'm going to take it off the top left, okay, and we're going to have it as white. Well, we're going to click pink, and then we're going to have a dotted line, okay, and then go back to white so we can see it, and have the width on 2, and we're going to go on to calculate for pre and post market hours. That's important. So now, so as you can see here, if we go on to the 15-minute candle, you can see the VWAP is basically touching the moving average, and you can see this stock is very extended away from the VWAP. So you could possibly short this, hoping it comes back down to the VWAP. I personally would stay away from this, it's too extended for me, but just to kind of show you how to add the VWAP. So we've added some charts, we've added the Montage, we've added the orders, the positions, the account, and the time and sales. So just click on the time and sales, basically the same as the chart. We just click onto it and type in the stock name, and now you can see all the orders. So the green are people buying and the red are people selling, okay? And if we wanted to click onto another one, we could go on IGC, and then you can see here, okay, so this is IGC, and we can look on the 1 minute time frame and we can see the stock is coming down slightly. We can see on here, we see some orders are coming in 10.40, 10.39, people are selling at 10.35, And if we want to change the background like we did on the other one, if you have a chart that you set up, you can save a chart as basically save those settings. So you can go on save settings, okay, and we call it chart. And now if we go on to this one here, or an easier way, we can actually go on to save as default. That's an easier way. So save this chart as default, and then click onto this chart, right click, and then go on load default. And then you'll see here, there'll be two charts. And now you can basically just minimize this, and that can fit in the section there, and you can just mold it, and now you've got the same chart with all the same settings on there, the color scheme, the moving averages, and everything that you have customized. So trying to think if there's anything more to cover. We could add a market list if we can try and find. So we've got the market viewer. I don't really use the market viewer too much, so I can't really speak too much about that. But we can use the top list, which is quite important if you want to look at the stocks in the Nasdaq that are the highest gainers and the most losers for the day. So you can see here we've got Nasdaq active, the most active, the highest gain, and the most lost in a day. Okay, so then we could perhaps have that instead of a time in sales, we could perhaps have the top list, okay, near here like that. And that kind of gives you an idea of some of the stocks. So if you go on the highest gainer, and you can see, so if we go on GRNQ, and you can see here today, you can see, you know, we were at $3.75 all the way up to nearly $10, which is incredible. I mean, you know, that's nearly more than 3 times its value in one day. And you can see it's up 170%, which is, you know, if you can get in these moves quickly, and you can, you know, you can make a hell of a lot of money. So if there's anything else I can kind of go over, we've got the news. You have to have access to the news, so not a lot of people will have that. If you want to see if a stock is shortable, okay, so if you want to be able to short a stock, the best way to do that is to type in the ticker. So if we go onto Facebook, and you can see here there's an S. If you click on the S, it will say symbol is shortable, okay, for so many shares. But if you go onto a stock that's maybe like this stock here, GRNQ, I guarantee this won't be shortable. So GRNQ, and as you can see here, there is no shorts. There's no this symbol is not shortable. As you could probably tell, you know, when a stock's up 170%, there's more favor that the stock's going to go down. Therefore, SureTrader won't provide shorts. Okay, so it looks like I just got into a trade. I don't know how. I must have accidentally pressed something, but I now have 3 shares of Facebook. I don't know how. Not quite sure how that happened. I'm gonna have to look back on the video because I didn't even press how much I had. I might try and see if it won't even let me sell it. It will let me buy the shares, but it won't let me sell them. So that's quite strange. It says it's out of market hours, but it did let me buy the shares. So that's a little bit strange. But here's an example. So this is now my position. So you can see here the withhold is 487, and you can see I got in at 162.44. So if we go onto Facebook and just have a look, so I entered here at 162. So Facebook is down 1.2%. I'll get out of this in the morning when I can. But if we can see here, Facebook is, you know, currently down 162. I mean, it might not be a bad time to buy. Let me just go on to the moving averages. So you can see here, this is my moving average layout. So we have the 6 EMA, 14 EMA, and 26. So I guess it's maybe not a bad place to buy. I'm just going to get out of this in the morning. I don't quite know how I got into this. I didn't press any hotkeys. I must have accidentally pressed the buy. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but you know, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. We might get a jump tomorrow. If not, I'll just get out as quickly as possible. So we might come up to the VWAP tomorrow, see a bit of an increase. We are down quite significantly if we look on the daily chart. I mean, we are down quite a lot, so this could jump, you know, this could jump quite, you know, we could jump maybe to 170, 180. So it's not something I wanted to get into, but there we go. So I think I'm going to end the video now. It's gone on for quite a while, so I just wanted to give you a bit of a breakdown on SureTrader, you know, go through the layout, kind of get you used to a layout, and kind of give you some ideas. So if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and also check out the description. There's quite a lot of links, useful links, YouTubers that I follow, recommended books, my PC setup links and stuff like that. So other than that, guys, it's going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.